10 players was asked to give our view on the Lucas Molina fight. And a possible rematch with Danny Garcia. Yeah. But you know the drill. First we wanna throw a 10 players holler out to Pablo Naples, Cat Daddy 646, Jesse James, and Corey Cunningham. Good call on the Provodnikov Algieri fight. But before we give our thoughts on Lucas Molina, which honestly isn't much, we wanna answer a question from LF. It's a question we were asked some months ago, and recently again. Which is, are there any channels we like? We'll get to that in a bit, but wanna say a few things. First, we're not gonna mention all the channels we like in this one particular video, because that would take an hour. And we don't wanna cram too many channels in one video. Second, most of the channels we like aren't big channels. The truth of the matter is, most of them don't even have 1,000 subscribers. Some of them don't even have 100, and most of them couldn't give two shits about subscribers. That's why we like them. Like they're not trying to throw up videos every 5 minutes to talk about every dumbass irrelevant thing just to get AdSense money. I mean, with some of these channels, a fighter can't even fart without them doing a story on it. And we're not suggesting channels don't do them. We don't give a shit what channels do. We throw up videos for fun at times as well. We're just saying seeing 10 of them a day doesn't interest us personally. And don't get it twisted, because we have no problem with channels that put up videos every 5 minutes. We just like shit of substance. Motherfuckers with insight. We also have no problem with AdSense channels. It's not our thing. But hey, get your money. We actually have a few channels that use AdSense that we like, that deserve anything they can make. Because they deliver quality shit. And we're gonna speak on these channels next time. But we're gonna say this to the real players. And this is a 10 players quote we hope you remember. You'll find the truth where the crowd is not. That's why most of our favorite channels aren't that big. To us they're big, but the crowds tend to look wherever they see a crowd, and run to it. We look where we don't. That's where the gold is. Every time someone finds a hidden treasure chest, they're the only motherfuckers around pulling up that gold. Because the crowd is too busy looking where it isn't. And wherever the crowd's looking, is where it ain't. That's just a little pro gambler insight. So remember, the 5,000 motherfuckers on the main casino floor, who can spend a penny, doesn't mean as much as the 5 in the hidden back room, who can throw 10 grand a hand on the table. Now, one of the reasons we as fight fans talk about Top Rank, Aram, Al Heyman, and guys like that, is because we're not interested in manipulated fights and bullshit. Getting played is not what real players are about. That's why we like the channels we like. Because they don't bullshit. And we're only gonna mention a few channels that talk boxing. Though we love the arts too. So we like channels with artists and true musicians as well. But for the fight game, these are a few channels we always check out when they upload. First, the Fox 251. Sometimes the Fox's volume's a bit low. But the Fox is one of those laid-back guys who isn't biased. When we say he isn't biased, we don't mean the Fox doesn't have favorite fighters. We simply mean he'll call it like it is if his favorite fighter gets his ass beat. He won't make up a bunch of bullshit excuses for them. He's got solid views on what's going on in the game. The Fox always seems laid back though. Like he's smoking a big fucking blunt while talking. We're not saying he's getting blunted. We're just saying it's a laid back vibe. And when the Fox is done, he'll say, subscribe, unsubscribe, like, dislike. He just doesn't give a fuck. We like shit like that. The next guy we check out when he uploads, is Fair Shake Boxing. Take the name literally. He's always in the gym. So he's kind of a paradox. Laid back and intense all in one. I mean, he has a serious passion about the shit he's talking about. Most channels just talk surface shit. But Fair Shake will speak on it all. From the fight, to conditioning, to mental principles. And if he doesn't want a guy to win, he'll just say it. No bullshitting. But he has a comprehension of what fighters go through internally. The next channel, whose videos we always check out, we actually found out about through Sexy, who told us to listen to this guy one day. So we all kicked our feet up, then started listening to this guy on surround sound with his voice coming from every direction. And cracked the fuck up. This guy was chewing out fight fans and saying all the shit we've been saying for ages. He didn't even have 50 subscribers, or even know anyone on YouTube at the time. and didn't give a shit. That would be Zone 6 boxing. Now if you don't know Zone 6, you might see him debating with someone and swear he hates that motherfucker. Stop tripping on that shit. Zone just calls shit the way he sees it, with no bullshit. And we mean no bullshit. But there's no hate going on. He'll praise the same motherfucker he's debating with in the next video, then tell you to check their channel out. So don't get it twisted if you ever head over there, and hear Zone tearing shit up. He could do a laid back video one time, and a storm the next. We used to call Zone the mind reader. I mean, we actually got ready to upload a video one day, and didn't upload the shit after listening to a video Zone uploaded an hour before. He was spitting so much of the same shit we were saying in our video that we didn't upload it. Because we figured there's no way people wouldn't think we were biting. Zone was also asked what channels he likes, and we were asked the same exact question. Shit like that just happens at times. But Zone 6 doesn't give a fuck if the entire boxing world attacks him for something he said. He ain't hiding under no rocks. And he ain't buttering no shit up to make no one happy. And the last channel we're gonna mention in this particular video. Concerning boxing anyway. For real players who want some serious insight with what's going on in the fight game. Remember what we said. You'll find the truth where the crowd is not. And he don't keep no massive crowd. Tito Garcia is the fucking man. Now you can listen to all the so-called big channels you want. You can listen to channels because they're interviewing top fighters. Personally, we're listening to what Tito Garcia's spitting first. I mean, we knew Mayweather was fighting Maidana before anyone else did. Because Tito Garcia delivered it, when all the big channels actually interviewing Mayweather personally, didn't know jack shit. Now whether it's his personal sources, or just his personal view, Garcia calls more shit right first than any channel we've seen. We're not talking fight predictions or shit like that. We're just talking someone with solid views on what's really going on in the fight game behind the scenes. But from the politics of it, to the gym. He knows his shit. It's a real players type channel. He's only kicking it to real players interested in what's going on behind the veil. So we're throwing a serious shout out to Tito as well. Now there's several more channels we like that we'll speak on in the future. But ultimately we like insight. Or we can listen to guys like Reeve Kick the history of the game. And some AdSense channels that aren't trying to throw bullshit down your throat. Channels like Leslie, Boxing Wave, and if you like reggae, Joshua Allo's an artist that's no joke. Lots of artists can come out with good shit in the studio, but suck live. Allo can kick it in the studio or live. Sit an instrument somewhere and he'll tear it up. In the studio, on stage, or in the damn jungle. But for now, let's get to this Lucas Molina fight. Which went pretty much as expected. Props to Molina though for putting on a pretty damn good fight. But you've gotta understand something. Lucas is the GOAT. And we don't mean the GOAT in the way we usually use the term in boxing. We mean he actually fights like a GOAT. A bumper cart trying to fucking ram you. And somewhere during the fight, he usually succeeds. He's very much like that bull charging at you. Going in there to fight the bull like another bull is kind of stupid. Perhaps you might outbull the bull with your bullness. But that's like hoping to win by flipping a coin. Because when you don't usually fight like a bull, and you're trying to beat the bull who actually is a bull, by fighting like a bull when you're not a bull. Well, that's a bullshit strategy. Because the bull actually is a bull, and you're not. So to beat the bull, you need to become the matador. Not another fucking bull. Floyd Sr. was asked about Mayweather possibly fighting Lucas once. And his reply was, "It's a good look for Floyd." And he's right. Because the matador is exactly what Floyd would look like against Lucas. Putting up his red cape and constantly moving out the way of the charge. While pot-shotting him over and over in the process. The thing is though, if you keep throwing the matador in with bulls, eventually, one day, one of these bulls will catch the aging matador. And Lucas has the potential to beat anyone at 140. So to Pablo Naples, who asked what we thought Garcia was thinking when Lucas said he wanted a rematch. Look. Fighting Lucas again is a risk. And you can bet your ass Danny knows it. Just like fighting Khan again is. Now Garcia fans will come in acting like Danny knew he'd win. And that it was easy work. Bullshit. Danny was concerned about that fight and he'd be concerned again. Especially against a Lucas who'll be ready for any street tactics. And ready to deliver some of his own this time. Does that mean Danny can't pull off another win? No. But that's one of the most dangerous fights he can have at 140. And Angel ain't stupid. He knows it. We personally wouldn't advise it. Some of his wins are a bit suspect. Nevertheless, this isn't some Gary Russell Jr. type shit. We've still gotta give the man credit. Because Danny's been in with some live dogs. But hey. We'll say the same thing we said before the last Pac Marquez fight. Which was this. If you start the video game over enough times, eventually you'll beat the game. So why risk taking on a new version of Lucas? And we doubt Danny will restart a game he already won, risking a win he already has under his belt. But it's a fight we wouldn't mind seeing again. Danny's talking about moving up to 147. But in our eyes, there's quite a few fights at 140 we wouldn't mind seeing Danny in. Or Lucas for that matter. And we wouldn't mind seeing any of these guys mixing it up in any combination. The issue now is the Cold War actually over? And it's not. It may be semi-over. But it ain't over. So we'll get into these guys when we drop our matchups video.